Hi there. I just hosted a Veterans Day event in our town's historic Whippany Burying Yard. That's a cemetery that was formed before the word cemetery had entered the English language. If you're interested, we've got a couple of videos about the place. The morning started with a forecast of snow flurries, yet over 100 people came. The veterans who wanted to honor their resting comrades in arms converged in heated cars, not the open trucks or landing craft that they'd once ridden in. Each had served in time of war, shed blood, and had comrades die. We often ignore the high price paid by servicemen and women and their families. 6 people spoke, including Chet Kochan. He told of landing on D-Day's Utah beach. He was a private in Patton's 3rd Army and was on the front lines for 51 straight days until he was badly wounded. Chet was awarded the Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts, and France's Legion of Honor. He's a quiet member of the greatest generation. Others spoke of more recent combat, and there's always a but, their wars didn't have as much popular support. Returning soldiers were ignored or worse. Lieutenant Sean Parcott talked about Korea. It's called a police action, despite the fact that 4 million people died there. 4 million. 4! Wow. A paratrooper who served as a battlefield medic in Vietnam, George Coppola, described being spat upon when he'd returned to the United States. The disrespect still stings. Veterans endure almost casually. Master Sergeant Pat Kruger mentioned the 120 and more degrees of temperature in Iraq, and then he laughed about having rockets fired at him, a couple of times a day. Not so casual were the remarks by an elderly woman whose family paid a high price during the Cold War. The details of her family deaths are still an official secret. The morning's last speaker was Gunnery Sergeant Walter Touchette. He didn't talk of his own 26 years of service in the Marines, including Desert Storm, rather of 2 men resting nearby who'd fought in the American Civil War some 160 years earlier. The first of them was Private James Mills. He survived the carnage of Fredericksburg and Chancellorsville, and then he marched 35 miles in 24 hours to get to the 3 days of Gettysburg. Underneath Ulysses S. Grant, Mills saw bloody action at a slew of battles: Spotsylvania, Cold Harbor, the Wilderness, and more. It's almost a miracle that Mills survived all these battles, and then to be one of the first Union soldiers to enter the Confederate capital of Richmond. Later, he actually saw Lee surrender to General Grant at Appomattox Courthouse. Wow, talk about being in history. He died in 1922, that's 57 years later. A very lucky man. Less lucky was Private Hugh Wiley. He joined the service at the same time as Mills and was sent to Washington to man its fortifications. Sadly for him, they then sent him to Fredericksburg. I wonder if he met Mills there. There were 14 suicidal attacks. 12,500 Union soldiers were slaughtered in front of Mary's Heights for no gain of ground whatsoever. Wiley was badly wounded and died soon afterwards. Thomas Jefferson said that the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Americans know this. Over 1 million U.S. soldiers have made the ultimate sacrifice. God rest their souls. Faced with their example, we must consider the service we provide to others and our attitude towards giving that service. There are people who have sacrificed, endured, and achieved who have no desire to advertise themselves. A friend of mine is one of them. Lou is probably going to hate what I say. He is mild, gentle, and kind. He was an officer in Vietnam and led his Navy SEAL team behind lines to rescue Americans many times. Perhaps killing. Certainly seeing friends killed. His best friend died in his arms. I can't even imagine his pain. Lou doesn't consider himself a hero, though I'm in awe of him. He did what he had to do, what he was ordered to do, what he trained to do, and then he returned to live according to his beliefs. We should all be like Lou Gatto. Purple Hearts, plural, Silver Star, the Navy Cross. By the way, I was never in service. My father and brother were. The Navy. Another, by the way, it's in service, not in the service. That's like the United States, not these United States. You should think about why. I am Mike for the Be More Better team. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Please comment, like, follow, all the rest. Subscribe if you haven't. But always, always be more better. Body, mind, and spirit. And then be even more better when you thank a veteran and get others to do the same thing. This has been an honor for me, and that is the truth. God bless America.